Well, here we are down in Cheezehole again. Mm-hmm. This week I've got some good ones.
Okay.
I've got some that might not be so good.
Looking forward to those.
Yep.
The ones that are not so good.
Yeah.
Those are always my favorites. But sometimes those turn into the good ones.
We make the most out of them.
Yep. We try our damnedest. Of course we have to lead off, and this is kind of old news by now because it happened like the day we did our last cast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the guy driving down the interstate who set up his little folding camping chair as the driving seat.
Yeah.
And I think it was in a van.
Yeah, these are our kind of stories. We like these.
Well, so when I first read the story, like the day it happened, I thought it was like an aluminum folding chair. But when I got to see the picture, I was so pleased to see it was actually like one of those camping chairs that like folds into itself
Like a
and then
bag
goes
chair.
in the sleeve. Yeah, a bag chair.
Yep.
So what on earth are you thinking when you put that in a vehicle and you drive down the road?
Yep. So the story is the Wisconsin state trooper stopped a vehicle in the north central region only to discover that the seats in the van had been removed and replaced with folding chairs.
So what did he get pulled over for in the first place? Because that's not the probable cause, I'd assume. He's like, I think those are folding chairs.
Well,
he was stopped for an equipment violation, is
Yep.
all it says.
Yep.
So like no turn
No
signals.
chairs.
And it was a it was a pickup truck.
Oh, it was a truck.
That's what it says.
I do want to note for those that can't see the picture right now too, is there's an absurd amount of snow and ice in the bottom of this vehicle,
And
like
it looks
inside.
like it looks like clean, fresh snow.
Well,
Like he just dumped a pile.
Oh, what the heck? How did I not notice that?
well,
I don't know, there's a lot.
One of the comments on Facebook is, pretty sure this is for ice fishing. You remove the seats and cut holes in the floors so you can drill holes into the ice and fish while staying warm inside your vehicle. That would explain all the snow and ice on the floor.
Oh.
So my guess is, if that's true...
So this is brilliant, and this dude just got caught driving it
Yeah,
home.
Yeah.
But if that is true, I do not see any holes. And generally, when vehicles are converted into ice fishing vehicles, they don't put the hole in the floor of the driver's seat.
No.
It's generally in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's
No,
a back
he's
to
saying
it.
stay warm. It would make sense that you'd drill a hole in the floorboard and you'd sit in that little seat and just jig.
But not in the driver's side. You do it in the back.
Now, but I'm not saying that the hole is right underneath the driver's side. I'm saying that's
Right.
where the chair ended up so he could drive it home. The hole might be somewhere else in the vehicle.
So why would you still remove the driver's chair?
That makes
For
no
more
sense.
room.
I'm all on board. I think
I
this
don't-
makes total sense
Yep.
now.
The more I get into it, the more I think this guy was
See, I disagree.
Brilliant.
I think
I
you keep the
disagree
front
too.
the same and you alter the back. You
Yeah,
take the back
exactly,
chairs
yeah.
out, the
No,
back seat.
That's
Or
where
as much room
that's
as
where
possible.
a van would work best. for.
I agree.
I completely agree with Andy.
Yep.
I went from thinking this guy was a total idiot to thinking he's one of the smartest guys south of Highway 8.
Do we know where this was?
Well, it said north. What did it say? South Central Region or something?
North Central region.
Oh, north. That's like us.
Could be.
Wouldn't it be?
Doesn't say. It just says a state trooper, North Central region.
Do we know the owner? Did it ever say who did it? Because this is definitely an interview. Because then we can get his thinking.
No, yeah, this one was a lot more obscure than the snowmobile on the roof. We could piece that one together.
There's no passenger seat in there either. Well, must have been a bench seat. So now all the seats are missing. That's definitely an ice
There's a
fishing
battery.
rig.
There's a car battery.
There is a battery in the passenger
That's
side
to
floor.
run your Vexilar.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's an ice fishing rig.
Yep, and he's driving it home after the season's
Yeah,
done.
he's like, oh, poop. I was just trying to drive it home to Toma.
Pertneer made it.
Yeah, I was almost there.
Near.
Why you gotta mess with me? It's just my ice fishing truck.
Yep.
All right,
There you
well,
go.
Cool.
I like that story now.
All right.
In fact, we should build one. Jolly Good sponsored. In fact, speaking of Jolly Good, I'm gonna crack one right
I just
now.
did.
What do we got today?
I'm going cream soda.
I've got cherry.
A diet cream soda.
Yeah, diet cream soda.
And cherry. What's the verdict on cherry?
Love it. It's
Ooh.
one of my favorites. Yeah. I feel like if you made a float with this, put
like
in
a
some ice
kitty
cream, it'd be
cocktail.
just unreal.
Is that probably what it tastes like? A kitty cocktail?
I think so. I've had the cherry. I think it tastes kind of like a. That's what a kitty cocktail is. It's just cherry juice like with a Sprite.
Or grenadine. It depends on the bar. If the bar doesn't want to waste their cherry juice, they'll use grenadine on you.
Depends if they like you or not. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a little more expensive? Grenadine.
It's just easier. It's in the bar rails. It's just
That's true.
sugar syrup.
That's true.
Grenadine's cheap.
Syrup.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
Oh, all right.
the mayor of Stevens Point. Did you see him jockeying to get the RoboCop statue in downtown Point? Because it was supposed to be in like Detroit, and then Detroit said they didn't want it or something.
Well, so yeah, in Detroit, there's a group of people that started a crowdfunding thing to raise money to build a RoboCop statue, and they raised the money. They raised a lot of money to build this statue, and they went to the city and said, "Here we go." And the city said, "We don't want that." So now they're like, "Well, we raised all this money in Detroit for the statue. Now what do we do?"
Well, that's
And
why
I think they even built it. Like I think they made the statue.
You
even.
should always ask the city first if they're
Right.
interested
Yeah.
before you do the GoFundMe for the RoboCop statue. Is there a picture of the statue?
I don't see one.
I thought I saw one before. There's part of it
Yeah, the
missing a head. But.
yep.
Now this probably shows my age, but I did not realize that the actor for RoboCop was from Stevens Point.
Yeah, what's his name?
Peter Weller.
Yeah.
What else has he been in?
He was in Sons of Anarchy.
Peter Well, can I see a picture? Oh, yeah. I see him. Yeesh.
He's old.
Was he like from Point always,
I think
or like was he born in Point and then moved?
I think he was
he's one
born.
of
And he
those.
was
He was born in Point, but his dad was a helicopter pilot for the Army, and so after I don't know what age he moved.
Army brat moving around.
He moved to West Germany for several years, and then moved to Texas, where he graduated high school. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much of his life was in Point, but that's where he is originally from.
Born. Well, I would like to see the RoboCop statue just because it's kind of cool. I wonder
Yeah.
where they'd put it in Point, like down on the square.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
That's
Take pictures
likely
with it.
where it's going to get destroyed, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where it deserves to be. It's RoboCop. You can't destroy RoboCop.
Yeah, you build that thing well.
Yeah.
I think the statue's kind of cool. If Point doesn't get it and Detroit decides they don't want it, I may make a push for Three Lakes to get it.
Just because?
Well, yeah, we could. I don't know. We could come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Weller was here once.
We think he said 3 lakes in the same sentence once.
Yeah.
Those 2 words. Well, there was another Point kid in the news. The Cole Caulfield, who he and his brother both play for the Badgers. I think that Cole is the nation's leading scorer.
Yep.
And this
I
is
looked
for
at
hockey.
it.
For
yeah,
those.
for hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at it this morning because they had it on the news.
Well, fill us in, Eric.
but he's the nation's leading scorer.
What year is he at?
I don't know what
At
he is.
He's
Wisconsin.
I believe he's a
Sophomore,
sophomore, and
I think, yeah.
his brother's a year older. I watched him play. You know what? He might be a junior because I watched him play the year before last, pre-COVID. So he is a stud.
And he's already been drafted.
Well,
Yep.
he was drafted before he went to play for the Badgers.
Yep.
I thought.
That-
Yep.
Okay,
he
that's
was
right,
drafted
yeah.
in 2019 by the Montreal Canadiens.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Canadiens.
So there's a related hockey story, and since we're talking about Point, did anybody notice there's a Pavelski on the Point girls team?
No.
The college girls
Is
team?
it? Is
No.
it
I thought it was the high school
on the high
championship.
school? Is it his sister?
That's what I'm wondering. Who is it? I would think she'd be too young to be his sister because he's got to be
He's my age.
So
He's
he's
a year older than me, actually.
so 30ish.
36, 37.
Okay, so that means his sister would be 20 years younger than him.
Yeah, so it couldn't maybe.
Distant cousin, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's got to be a cousin or a niece or something. I thought I saw it in the girls' tournament. Was I confused on that?
No, I think you're right. I think I remember hearing that too.
This is all really cool breaking news, but I think what's the most breaking news here is that Eric actually knew the background of a story for once.
Yeah, because it was about hockey.
It's about hockey.
It's unreal.
Lately, only things Eric cares about are 3D printing and apparently still hockey. So we've got
Cool.
that going for us.
Cole Caulfield is identified as a generational sniper, a product of the U.S. Hockey National Team Development Program, and currently holds the program's all-time record for goals.
Wow.
Wow.
The other thing is he's just a little guy.
He's Tom Cruise short.
Mad
he's-
respect.
Yeah,
He's 5'8", 160.
Tim Dobbins short.
He's 5'8", 160.
What are you?
Represent.
Oh, I saw.
What are you?
See, I saw 5'7".
160.
So-
Are you?
Yeah, like
gave-
literally dead on. That's cool. Way to go, Cole. Proud of you.
What's his brother's name? I think his brother's a year older.
Looking.
He's a native of Mosinee. His older brother, Brock, also plays for the Wisconsin Badgers men's
Yeah.
hockey team.
Yeah, I thought so. Brock's not as good as Cole, unfortunately. They got to compare the two. They always compare brothers.
Yeah.
His dad,
Someone's always got to live in the shadow of the other.
Yeah.
their dad, Paul Caulfield, was born in Sault Ste. Marie. Played for UW Stevens Point,
Wow.
and remains the team all-time leading scorer.
Jeez.
Well, you say also played for UW Stevens Point, but they didn't play for UW Stevens Point. They played for the Badgers.
I meant like that's part of the story also, and also played for.
Gotcha. So he played for the Pointers.
Yep, and remains the team's all-time leading scorer.
So then he stayed in Point, obviously, after he was done or
And
nearby.
their grandfather, Wayne Caulfield, is a member of the Wisconsin Hockey Hall of Fame. Played
kidding.
semi-professionally
Wow.
for a lot of teams.
That's
played
awesome.
For the
And that
Milwaukee
kid did not
Admirals.
have a choice but to be great.
My gosh, yeah, it runs in the family.
Cool.
Well, so that's all my Stevens Point news. Tim told me he put together a quiz. When is the
did,
actually. opportune time?
Now is, I guess.
Can you tell us what you have planned?
So I do. Yeah, I will. So we do a lot of stories and coverage on people breaking the law. They're fun. We enjoy them.
Yes.
And a couple weeks ago, we talked about that lady who made $3 million scamming the lottery games in bars, and then we realized that it's actually illegal to have those in bars, and a lot of us were
The like not the lot the
you know what I'm
Gambling
talking-
machines.
the gambling
gaming
machine.
You hit the
machines,
buttons.
and how they're actually illegal to have in Wisconsin. So what we're gonna play is fact or forgery. These are Wisconsin laws,
Boy.
and they are all based around Wisconsin or certain cities in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I'm going to read a law, and you
Okay.
have to tell me if it's indeed a fact that it is a law,
Okay.
or that forgery. I made it up.
Okay. What's the title of the game again?
Fact or
Fact or
forgery?
Fact or forgery.
We've got good game names. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Fact or Forgery.
So I have 12 of them here.
12 of them. Okay.
Yep. And we're going to start it off with a nice one. A nice, easy one. In Wisconsin, it's illegal to sell cheese unless it is highly pleasing and free from undesirable flavors and odors.
Are we starting with Eric on that?
We're starting with Eric.
Oh man, I'm gonna say fact.
I would say that's not a fact. I think a lot of cheese has undesirable odors.
Limburger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going forgery.
It is indeed a fact. That is a law.
Well, so how does Limburger's
Apparently
breaking
some
the law?
people find it appealing.
I think our next T-shirt should be Limburger : breaking the law.
Good job, Eric. Off to a good
All
start.
right.
It just seemed like something.
Yeah,
that
here we
some
go.
Wisconsin
Here goes Eric
right into
again.
All right. In Racine, Wisconsin,
Okay.
it's illegal to play checkers in public because it's illegal to say "king me."
Is
Is
this
this
Andy?
Oh.
gang related?
No, it's on
pretty-
Andy.
It's on Andy.
But I'm just questioning. Is it a gang related thing?
I will again say forgery.
I don't think you can make that up. I'm going fact.
I'm gonna say fact as well.
It is indeed a fact.
I got
I'm gonna
one.
say
It is
it has
indeed a fact.
Does it have to do with gangs?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I found these on the internet very quickly, and I did not look very much in depth.
is
to
it
them.
That's how mine
Well,
was.
like,
You said, how much
I'm-
time
I'm
did that
thinking,
take you?
like,
And I said, not much. It really didn't.
Latin Kings or something, gang related.
Yep, yep. All right. In Wisconsin, it's illegal to leave a bicycle in public unless it has a kickstand to hold it up.
It's on Jeff.
Oh, my goodness. We got to be due for a forgery, but I think he put 3 facts in a row just to mess with us.
So,
I'm going to say that in all of Wisconsin, so that's a state statute?
Yes.
Can you read it again?
it's illegal to leave a bicycle in public unless it has a kickstand to hold it up.
I'm going fact.
I'm gonna say fact.
I think fact too.
I made that up.
Oh, little rat.
All right.
I'm 0 for 3.
Yep. All right. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it is illegal for a car to be parked on a street for over 2 hours unless a horse is tied to the car.
I've
That's on
heard
Eric.
something odd about this before. It's on Eric. I'll just be
I'm
quiet.
gonna say forgery.
One more time. Read it again.
In Milwaukee,
Okay.
it is illegal for a car to be parked on a street for over 2 hours unless a horse is tied to that car. Horse, not llama.
I'll say fact.
I think that's a fact too. I remember reading a statute about a horse one time, and this isn't it, but something similar. I'm going fact.
It is indeed a fact.
Hey!
These are a lot of these are old time laws that just never.
Never got changed.
In Madison, it's illegal for any adult to walk around in a public setting with their pants fly down.
Hold on, hold on. You're gonna have to read that one again, because I'm thinking through this. Not this still on the books. We gotta park a car in downtown Milwaukee
With a horse.
With
With
a
a
horse.
Oh, yeah.
we just do, and just let it sit there, just because.
Okay, we need to find out if there is a time limit. It's 2 hours without a horse.
Yes.
Is there? Do you are allowed a certain amount of time with a horse?
yeah, I don't know.
And then we just
I don't know
we
what the
let that
cutoff
ride.
is with a
Infinite.
horse.
That's worth the price of a horse, in my opinion.
It's hard to
Sorry,
find
go-
parking in
go
Milwaukee.
on.
I'm glad you brought that back.
All right, in Madison, Wisconsin, it's illegal for any adult to walk around a public setting with their pants fly down.
Oh, this is me. That's a forgery.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's forgery.
Oh,
Good job, Jeff. All right. In Wisconsin, it is illegal to sell, own, or deploy stink bombs.
Eric?
I feel like Eric would know.
You all know these things. They're terrible.
No, Eric just stinks. It has nothing to do with it.
fact.
Eric says fact.
I'll say fact as well.
I think it's a forgery.
Forgery, but it is true in Alabama.
Oh,
I'm on a streak.
All right.
I got 2.
In Sheboygan,
I'm bad.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin, it's illegal to water your lawn in any way that annoys others. That's on
Who's this
Eric,
on?
I think.
Or
No,
Andy?
It's on Andy.
Well,
How do
Way
how
that
do you
annoys
annoy?
others.
How do you
How do
annoy?
you define annoy?
yeah, but it's the same thing as the cheese. You know, something might smell good to somebody.
Right, right.
And bad. So I'll say this is fact. I'll say that somebody came up with that obscure, unspecific
Can
law.
you read it again?
In Sheboygan, it's
Did you
illegal.
paraphrase these?
No, not really.
All right.
It's illegal to water your lawn in any way that annoys others.
Yeah, see, I think, because again, having a little bit of experience in writing an ordinance, you would never say in any way that annoys others, because both of those things are unquantifiable. You can't define them. So I'm going to say that's a forgery.
I'm going fact.
It is indeed a fact.
Ah.
Keep in mind, Jeff, these are also pulled off of Google, and how people paraphrase them prior to me
All right,
is
all right,
yeah.
all right, all right.
So that is a fact. You can't annoy others with your sprinkler system.
I just
In-
want to know
in
how,
Sheboygan.
how do you annoy people with your sprinkler?
This one is even better.
You spray
This
the
next one here.
passersby.
Aha, there you go.
In lacrosse, it is illegal to worry a squirrel.
Is this on me?
Yeah.
Illegal
cannot
to
worry a squirrel.
Again, I cannot define when a squirrel is worried.
Chased, cornered,
Yeah, like
shot
he's-
with a BB gun.
Speed up when he's crossing the street. You know, he's gonna worry. I think that's a forgery, and I think it's funny if you did forge that.
I'm really enjoying this, by
Just,
the way.
I'm eyeing him up, just seeing if he faked it or. I'm gonna say fact, just because it's so stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fact as well.
I said forgery, didn't I?
You
did, yeah.
It's indeed a fact.
What the heck?
Cannot worry squirrels.
How do you define? Where
I
is
don't know.
this?
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
Worry a squirrel.
We'll ask Paul about it. He
Yeah.
went to lacrosse for school.
All right, in Sun Prairie.
What number is this?
This is number 9 here. In Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, it's illegal to ride a bike without your hands on the handlebars.
Eric.
Forgery.
I'll go. That seems like a law that somebody would have made, but I'm gonna say that it's maybe somewhere else. I'm gonna say a forgery.
I say fact.
It is indeed a fact.
Oof.
Okay. In Wausau, it's illegal to have a donkey in your bathtub after 7 p.m.
I don't know this one.
Who's this on, Andy?
Yeah.
There's just no way. Why would this have been a law at any time? Forgery.
Yes, I say forgery.
Fact.
It is a forgery, but it is true in Arizona. It is true. Yeah. All right. Number 11. It is illegal for Wisconsin restaurants to serve margarine unless they also offer butter.
Fact.
Fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think we talked about that.
That
didn't
is a
we?
fact.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw one in there that we might have actually known.
I thought we had either
No.
discussed that or for some dumb reason I've read that before.
I believe there's still laws that in prisons and like institutions, it's illegal to serve margarine. You have to only serve butter too.
So that's why you get so many of those little, butter and margarine packs
Yep.
when you get takeout.
It was actually kind of cool history about that. Just so that law was in place, and then it was kind of changed and altered because one of like the governors at the time, I can't remember what year this was, but they made him do a taste test of margarine and butter, and he picked margarine over it. And once he accidentally picked margarine, he's like, "Oh, we'll not have to change the law."
How dare you?
All right, last one.
It was Greta.
In New London, Wisconsin, it's illegal to play bingo while intoxicated.
Who's this on, Eric?
I don't know.
I think it's on Eric.
Seems like it's been on Eric a lot.
Ah,
Well, what
Well,
number
I'll
is this, 11?
This is number 12.
this is
Who
the
do
last
we
one.
start with?
I can start. I can do this
Sure.
one.
in what
In
city?
New London, it's illegal
New
to
London.
play bingo,
Bingo.
while intoxicated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fact.
I believe that's a fact.
I'd say fact as well.
It's a forgery.
Oh!
True in North Carolina, though.
I got 7.
I only got 5.
Was that fun? I had fun.
Yeah, I always like those.
Bingo is such a rowdy game.
You can't not drink and play bingo in Wisconsin.
I thought
Come
maybe it
on.
was some tie to like only churches can play bingo and you can't drink in a church. I thought that maybe there was gonna be
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, but never mind.
I just saw our squirrel outside, and just so you guys know, in Three Lakes here, we can worry it.
Oh, we're gonna worry that squirrel hard.
No, he never worries because we feed him, so he's fine.
That's true. He's well taken care of.
since we're talking about drunks playing bingo, there was a drunk that showed up in court in Lincoln County this week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he went in for like a relatively mundane misdemeanor charge. Then they found out he had other charges, and then when they arrested him for the other charges, they realized he was drunk. He blew a .33,
which is extremely high.
Yeah.
Yes,
way.
that isn't messing around.
Yep. So he appeared in the courthouse
it
for
doesn't say
a criminal
that.
traffic matter. And then when he got there, then they realized that he was also wanted for paying someone to pay someone outstanding fines. And then they smelled him. And they gave him a breath test.
So
and it was
they gave him a sniff test.
Did he drive there himself? Because it says he now
Yeah.
faces a
His
charge of
sixth-
violating the terms in his 6th OWI.
I think so, yeah.
Smart guy.
So they must have just asked him, "Did you drive yourself here?" And he said, "Well, how else would I get here?" Because like if he's already in court, don't you have to catch somebody driving?
I don't know.
Because isn't that like one of the games like people try and slide over to the passenger seat and be like, "Yeah, driver just bailed."
Well, I think technically you can't even be found in
Yeah.
the
With an
seat
open
of a car,
intoxicant,
yeah,
yeah.
or even just drunk. Like you
I thought
can't
it was just
climb
the
into your
keys
vehicle.
and-
It was your
keys
key in
and
the ignition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if like you're sitting in a not running vehicle and you're drunk with the key in the ignition, you can still get a OWI.
So you'd have to ditch the keys and say that the driver
And
bailed.
slide to the passenger
Yeah,
seat.
yeah.
And
A lot of maneuvering.
yeah, well, they probably have him on some type of security cam or something, getting out of his. I'm gonna bet pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But with a chair, with a folding chair
Yep,
for a
Yep.
seat.
A nice
ice
two-tone
shrapnel.
pickup, maybe gray and rust.
Bunch of bush lights in the bed.
Nice.
There was two Powerball winners from the same little convenience store in, I think it was in Janesville area. Where was that?
East Troy at the Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly. Oh, it was
Nice.
I thought it was at a Quickie Mart, but it was at a
Lottery
Piggly.
officials say the store sold two $50,000 winning tickets for the March 10th Powerball drawing. Yeah, that's something.
Odds of hitting that prize are 1 in 913,000.
And hitting two from the same store?
I don't even know.
That's ridiculous.
Don't
I
buy
think
from
it would
that
be
store
two
again.
in 1.8 million.
Right. Which is also the same as 1.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not great at fractions, but I think
Fractions confuse me, especially if they've got a colon in them. 1 in what? Speaking of things that confuse me,
Sure.
Karen!
Oh, she's here.
The Roundabout Bar and Grill in Kaukauna, which I'll come back to Kaukauna after the review, remind me.
Okay.
The Roundabout Bar and Grill, 4.3 stars, just under 400 reviews.
Now, Kakana, we've been talking about with the weird animals that they
They
found.
had the
Yeah.
animal turn-in.
Hopefully that's unrelated to this restaurant review.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
Only given 1 star because I have to put something. Horrible service. Have been completely ignored both times I have been in here. Had to clear off a table because they were all dirty. Was never acknowledged by any of the staff, even after I waved my arms, stared right at her, and asked if I could get some help. She looked at me and turned around. We only went back a second time to try and use the gift card we got from such crappy service the first time. Had to call the bar from the table to get any attention. After waiting 10 minutes, having to call the bar for any kind of service, we left.
not a good experience
Ooh,
for
not a
Karen
good
there.
Can I take this one?
Sure.
Start us off, Jeff.
Oh my goodness. I can picture this person
Yeah.
in this establishment and being embarrassed for every other patron and person who works there. Even after I waved my arms, stared straight at her, and asked if I could get some help. Because I'm picturing, like, can I get some help? And, like, everyone's, like, looking. And then they go on to say, we had to call the bar from our table.
Yes, thank you. I underline that as well.
So can you picture
That's a-
somebody, like, yelling, can we get some service here?
See, and can I add something to this?
Oh, please.
I bartended for many years, and one of my pet peeves bartending is when people would sit at like a bar table or somewhere that was kind of far away from the bar, and they would just like sit there and stare at you as you are swamped and busy with everyone who's actually at the bar. If you want a drink, come up and get one. I'm not gonna leave my post while everyone else at the bar is waiting to go over to your table
This
to get you a drink.
whole...
pet peeve.
I fear this Karen.
Now, when you say call the bar, does that mean from her table she telephoned the bar?
No, I think
call
I
over
think
to
she's
it.
yelling.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think she's yelling. Bartender.
Either way, it's bad. I kind
Bartender.
of thought she called on the
Yeah,
phone.
I was
too.
hoping it was a power move.
Stand
Like,
up
No.
and
she's
go
at her
ask for
table. She
something.
called the bar. I'm over at table 6.
Bartender. What I love about this, okay, and she doesn't bring this up. She says the only reason I went back was because I needed to use the gift card from my first
She
first crappy
complained.
service. So she complained to the point of somebody just giving her a gift card to shut the up. And then seriously, you know that's a fact. It's
Yep.
like, listen, lady, get out of here. Here's a gift card. We hope you never use it. But she's like, well, listen, I had to use the gift card, so I had to go back. If the place is that crappy, I can tell that this is a genuine Karen.
Yeah.
I think this is the most genuine Karen review we've ever had out of Karen reviews to date. And I fear this woman. I fear her.
You should fear her.
Back to Kakana.
Oh, okay.
Unrelated to this, I believe Kakana has the best school nickname of any school, and I was going to
the
bring this up,
Galloping
the
Ghosts.
Galloping
Yeah.
Ghosts. And I was going to bring that up last week, and we had just got off topic, and I forgot. But I have a quiz for next week because I knew you already had one prepared
Good.
on school mascots, real or
cool.
fake. So
Really good. I do like that one because it could have just been the ghosts. But they
the
added
galloping ghosts, exactly. Like it
just
just
so-
gives you a
yeah.
better picture of like it's like that ghost got it going on. A ghost better than a normal ghost because he gallops.
Yeah. Give her Billy, ghost.
It's a Giver Billy ghost.
They have a statue.
Kind of like
That's
Giver
kinda
Billy Goat, but it's a Giver Billy ghost. There's a statue of a galloping ghost in Kakana.
Yeah,
So what is a galloping ghost exactly?
Can you find the origin of that?
it's literally a ghost riding a horse.
That's cool. Super cool. Is the horse a ghost horse?
It doesn't look like it.
Oh,
Should
that'd be
be.
cool. Like
Should
I
be.
picture like those horses from Game of Thrones, those like badass looking horses with a ghost on it. In fact, I picture the whole thing now, like those what are those things in Game of Thrones? Those freaky things that came out toward the end that were on the dead horses.
I can't remember now. It's been so long.
Eric,
haven't
you're
seen
our
it.
go-to
They're
guy on
basically
this.
zombies.
Yeah, but that's a galloping ghost.
Cool.
So anyway, next week, and don't you guys cheat by like studying up, but that's my plan for next week.
You know we're all gonna cheat.
Yeah, Eric
Okay.
will.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kakana, Galloping Ghosts, and our number one Karen to date. This is the Hall of Fame Karen review because I fear when I read this, I felt bad for all the employees who worked there. So anyway, when she called the bar looking for help, the good thing was
get
is back then, because this is an older review, like a year old.
Okay.
She didn't have to dial 10 digits to get a hold of the bartender, and now she would. I don't know what she would have done, because would that have been
Too many digits?
the Roundabout Bar and Grill's fault if she had to dial 10 digits to get a hold of the bartender?
I'm sure she'd have
Of
been
course.
upset about it.
Of course, it's their fault.
So that's a new thing. So no, it said have to dial 10 digits, but we've been having to do that up here for a long time.
No, it's
Yes.
starting this fall.
But that's not right.
Right now, people in Wisconsin can call a place to a number in the same area code without dialing the area code.
That's not true.
It's in the news, Jeff.
I don't care what the news says. Up here,
But up
you
here
have-
we have two. We have two. We have 715 and 534 now.
now, or we
534?
have.
We've had it for like close to 10 years.
So
think.
I'm going
I
to
don't know
submit.
anybody with a 533.
I know,
neither.
but they
Me
they
neither.
ma- They made it when they said they were running out of numbers.
This
for
is according to the
715.
Milwaukee Journal
You're a
Sentinel.
liar.
Beginning October 23rd, you need to include the area code.
Okay.
Otherwise, before that, if you're calling within the same area code, you could.
If you were to dial 369-1234 any time in the last several years, it would say, please hang up and try your call again. It has nobody. Do you not use your telephone?
I think all of mine are just pre-programmed with 715
Yeah.
in it already.
It's been
715's been that way for 3 years.
boom. Can Brian? Can you come take Eric's place, please?
We just
Please?
had guest appearance.
So
in the corner,
715
Brian.
has been that way for 3 years. So
Well, then it must be other places in the state because it does say right now people in Wisconsin can place a call to a number in the same area code without dialing the area code.
And 534 is also this area too.
So let's go back to the Milwaukee
That I
Journal
don't believe.
Sentinel.
It's weird.
Not doing their homework. I'm tired of journalistic integrity in this state.
Or
I'm
lack
tired of it.
thereof.
Yes, lack of. Thank you.
The change comes about because the FCC is establishing 988 as a new nationwide phone number for
Gross.
suicide prevention and mental health.
988.
You know, like calling 911 if you have an emergency, but calling 988 if you are suicidal.
That's
perhaps.
where it comes from. I guess.
Isn't
now.
there a bunch of those? Like, isn't there like 6 or 8 of those now? Because 911 is clearly emergency. Mm-hmm. There's one for assistance. Isn't for like directory assistance?
411.
Okay, so that's a thing.
Is 211 weather or something?
I don't know. I'm guessing there's a list of them somewhere. But so I don't get what having to make 988 has to do with. Why is this so complicated?
I don't know. You should call the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel and voice your concerns about this journalism.
I don't care about having to. I'm just confused as to what this has to do with 988.
988 is I don't know. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I would assume it conflicts with some area code somewhere, and they want to use it. I don't know. It doesn't say in the article.
Of course it doesn't, because nobody bothered to do any research before they wrote it.
Eric's doing some typing. Maybe he'll find it.
It's sad when Eric does more research than Wisconsin Journal does,
It is quite sad.
because
It's worrisome.
it is worrisome.
The original Wisconsin zip codes, or area codes, were 715 and 414. Those were the only two assigned back in 1947.
So it was just like a north and south deal.
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
So we're OG up here, 715. That's sweet.
Yeah. And then I don't know how we managed to keep 715, because you would have thought the western part of the state would have been like, there's more of us. You guys get your own thing going on. And then we would have went to the UP and said, hey, can we be part of 906? That's what I would have done. There was I should have brought this up when we had the folding chair.
Yeah.
And I was going to, and I forgot. But there was a dog that crashed a Jeep in Door County. Did anybody?
Yeah, I heard about it.
You say that so nonchalant.
Well, I can see how it happened. I leave my dog in my truck. I take my dog to Menards every time. And
You leave it on?
I always take the key out just because I'm like, well, what if?
Yeah.
Right. Or he locks you out.
The
or
perfect storm.
something.
It's more because of a lockout, but there's been times too when I've left the truck running to run into the grocery store or something. I'm like, what if?
Yeah, knocks the shifter.
I always have that fear.
So the owner of the dog named Callie parked at a gas station in Sturgeon Bay, went into a bakery nearby, and thinks that Callie bumped the shifter into drive.
Exactly.
And the Jeep ran into the business across the street.
That's awesome.
It's not like Callie's paws were up on the wheel and he was like, I'm tired of this guy.
This is a cute dog, too, by the way.
Can you imagine being that business owner and like, okay, a car smashes into your business, you're scared, you're freaked out, you run out there to see if the person's okay, open it up, and there's just a dog so happy to see you.
Well, the worst part of this was that dog blew up a .25.
Oh.
It was its 11th DUI.
Oh,
Going for the record.
you hate to see it.
It was that Border Collie's 11th DUI.
Serious problem there.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of COVID news, which we normally don't talk about COVID because we're all so depressed over COVID for the longest time. But we've got 2 million shots in the arm. That was the headline, which was a little confusing because it makes you think that 2 million people got their vaccinations. But since everyone gets vaccinated twice, 700,000 people have been vaccinated.
Twice, yep.
Completely.
I've gotten the 2
Okay.
shots.
And
yep.
then the remainder is people who still need their second shot or potentially may have gotten the J&J shot at this point. But there's 2 things. It's not necessarily that many shots. I thought it was interesting. Number one, that dentists could start administering the shot. And secondly, veterinarians could start administering the shot. And now I've always wondered about veterinarians. Did anybody ever see the Seinfeld episode where Cosmo Kramer decides he can medicate himself and he starts taking this? He has a cough and there's or I forget what it is. If the dog had a cough, he starts taking a medication and then ends up with the same symptoms the dog had. It's very funny. Anyway, so what is the difference between medications for humans and dogs, or any animal, or is there no difference? And then, like, what's the differentiation between a person who can diagnose an animal versus a human? Like, it seems to me like it's got to be the same.
I think there's quite a bit
the
of
same
overlap
science.
there. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like very similar
Yeah.
science? So
I would imagine that back in the way olden days that maybe a doctor wasn't as available and you would call the local vet to come, deliver your baby or something like that.
Wouldn't be afraid to do that. I mean, like you said.
I know with a
biology's
horse,
biology.
I need to see hooves first. So I don't know what's going on here. If I need hooves first or head first.
So yeah, a list of vaccinators including dentists, optometrists, and veterinarians.
So basically, anyone who has MD behind their name can now administer a vaccine
But the kicker is veterinarians are still not eligible to get vaccinated.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is odd. Well, how did pharmacists end up on the original? If you go backwards, so pharmacists have been able to give you the shot since the start. Wouldn't it have made sense, honestly, for this list to be the first group of people to be able to give you the shot? Because again, they have medical knowledge. A pharmacist would have the knowledge of how like a drug would affect
Right.
you with
Yeah.
like its side effects and things like that. So maybe that had something to do with the
You
logic.
think they would have been up there?
Yeah, I don't know. Just odd to me.
Going back to what you were saying about humans taking animal medications, vice versa. Just kind of a funny Cheezehole story here. A long time ago, my grandpa witnessed us putting those frontline tick medication, like the drops,
On the
down
back of your
on the
neck?
back of our dog, and he was so intrigued by the fact that actually repelled ticks. He could not understand why it's not made for humans yet. I want to know that.
That
as well.
same thought has crossed my mind.
Because he was out in the woods all the time trapping, whatnot, and he was just blown away by it. He actually asked us for some, and we did not give it to him.
No, Gramps, no. Because you knew he was going to spread it down his
Why
spine.
Isn't there something that we can take that...
Is it because you're like, there's side effects to it, but they're like, well, it takes 10 years for him to kick in. The average life of a dog is 9. So is there some
Maybe. That
some
could be. That
you know
could be.
math or science to that?
I don't know.
We
line
also
of thinking.
shower more often too, like a topical, like.
Well, you're not
tick.
supposed to get your dog wet for 24 hours
Right.
after because
Right.
it obviously it
Soaks in,
seeps
takes a
in,
while, yeah.
right?
No.
I always assumed it was because of dogs live for 8 to 12 years, and it's it doesn't build up in their system really.
Would you be willing to submit to one for this and then walk around in the
No.
woods for a little
No.
while? How about you, Tim?
I would, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Chip off the old block.
Yeah. Yep.
Just want to prove that I'm useful, unlike Eric over there.
Oh.
All right.
Everybody needs a kicking boy.
Sorry, Eric.
Well, the last thing I had was there was a UW lacrosse grad who's on the Mars rover team.
Ooh.
Which,
Neato.
how did we never figure that out? Because we talked about the Mars
Yep.
rover one other time. Maybe this just hit maybe the Wisconsin Journal just screwed up this news earlier this week too.
They were just saving it, holding it out.
What is his role?
And they're
or
not
her role?
And they're not from Wisconsin.
Andrea Connell.
Oh, nice. So what is her role?
Let's see. She is a member of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Jet Propulsion Laboratory team
Wow.
and is programming the Perseverance rover's activities on the Red
So
Planet.
she does like the computer programming aspect of it.
Good for her.
Well,
and that's a
very cool.
lacrosse grad?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
she's from Holman, if
Holman, yep.
Where's Holman?
Down by La Crosse. It's in La Crosse County.
So she didn't want to travel too far, so she just went to UW lacrosse.
Worked out well for her.
Sure
Doing
did.
good. Doing good.
Sure did. The last thing I had is we've talked so much about Pleasant Prairie that I felt like I felt like this week in Pleasant Prairie should be a regular standing
Pleasant
news
Prairie
item.
or Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I was
Either one.
Yeah.
Oh, did I screw it up?
I was gonna let you do this whole segment and then
You're a you're a
Can we fire
Mount
Andy?
Pleasant is what we talked about the last 2 episodes, not Pleasant Prairie.
No, I'm not even doing it.
Darn it.
I screwed it up.
Yep. I was gonna let
They're
you screw it
close.
up.
They're
They are close.
kinda
They're very
Are they?
close.
So
Yeah.
it's Mount Pleasant.
It's basically Kenosha and Racine.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're both pleasant by name.
Yeah, they're
so
very pleasant.
So I
Pleasant-
need to do a standing thing called This Week in Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant is essentially Racine, and Pleasant Prairie is right on the border. Of,
Well, I was going to tell a
Illinois.
story about somebody stole a dog, but that was in Pleasant Prairie, so now I'm not even going to do it. That's it. Good afternoon, good
No,
evening,
no,
and good
no.
night.
I wanna hear about
good
this
night.
guy. Oh.
Good night.
Is that it? Is that really
That's it. Good night.